everybody, welcome in to the another episode of Behind the Streams, where we talk to different streamers about their streams and the things that got them started. We are joined today by Mr. Bald Ridge. Mr. Bald, say hello.
Oh, hello, Bill. Hello. Sorry, I was reading a little. Sorry, let me put that away. Hello, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. It's Friday, and I don't have to go to work tomorrow. So honestly, this is the best day of my life currently.
Yeah, that is always fantastic. So the first place we usually start with these is the most obvious thing is simply where did the username come from? Why Bald Ridge? Where did that come from?
So, that it's a good question, and I do make up an answer every time it's asked, because the real answer I can't share on Twitch, but not for any TOS reasons, I will say. But actually, no. There is a reason that I chose the name. So back when I was spending a lot of time with my uncle, he was a survivor of the Vietnam War, and he would always talk about the importance of a bald ridge. You go up on a ridge, you don't want it to be filled with brush so you can see out over things. I thought it was a funny name, and so it kind of stuck. And if that one doesn't sound believable, I got like five more.
To take your pick, huh? When you started streaming, kind of
Mhm.
kind of what or who made you want to stream? Like where did that desire come from?
Well, I started on a website called Justin TV. You might know it. It's by its new name, Twitch. Uh, I started watching folks play Magic the Gathering on there because I didn't want to have friends or a social life. So instead, I watched people play Magic on the internet. In fact, one of them is currently streaming with 8,000 people. He's
Oh.
currently playing Slay the Spire, so I have to unfollow him because he's not playing Magic the Gathering anymore. So that's unfortunate. But I watched a lot of Magic the Gathering. And then I was like, I want to do that. That sounds fun. So I started streaming Magic the Gathering Arena. At that time, it was Twitch. And then I did that and a lot of shooter games, actually, even though I don't really play them much at all on stream now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
About how long ago was that? Because I did not know. I guess I didn't know Twitch used to not be Twitch. So
Yeah. No, this is a while ago now. God, time marches ever forward as we slowly turn to dust. Uh, like a year or two ago. Yeah, yeah. I actually have no idea. It was a long time ago though. I actually started streaming. I do not have my old username because it's been lost to time. But I started streaming that, and then I was like, man, it turns out you have to be like interested and have a semi decent setup to get people to watch you. Uh, One or the other, maybe they can pull you through because I don't know if you know this, but the average stream on Twitch has zero viewers. And that was the case for me then. So I stopped streaming for like 4 or 5 years. And then I actually picked back up again when a game called Super Mario Maker came out. I played a bunch of that on stream. And people loved having you play their levels. And that was a great way to get people to stop by the stream because everybody wants to watch you jump through their gauntlet. And
right.
then, yeah.
Okay. So you actually like your Mario journey didn't start with Kaizo. You started off in Mario Maker.
Oh, yeah. No, I started playing on Super Mario Maker, and then I actually started to like play Kaizo and try to get good at doing the fancy stuff when I started to play Super Mario Maker 2. Uh, so I used to play like really, really hard shell levels, and now I play SNW, which is substantially easier than any of the things I was doing on there. Like substantially easier.
What would you say was the hardest part when you first started streaming? Like what was one of the hardest parts about it for you? I mean, was it the scheduling? Was it the low viewer counts? Anything like that? What was
Oh,
your
it was
biggest
a
hurdle?
100% the depression. Yeah, yeah. I have depression, and it's always a fun fight with that. So you have to keep out of your head, and definitely the like, oh, I've been streaming for 8 hours, and my average viewer count is zero. Stuff like that. That's definitely that's the reason why I quit in the first place and then came back.
Do you ever have like anxiety before a stream or anything, like stressing out about what's going to happen? And if you do, how do you? And even if it's not anxiety, if it was the, like you said, the low view count, how did you overcome that? Like, how do you deal with the stress or the depression of lower view counts or whatever?
As for anxiety, funnily enough, I am horrible when it comes to social things. However, I did a lot of theater growing up because apparently I'm a masochist. And it turns out that I'm really good at flipping the switch in my brain that says, hey, we're going to talk now. We're going to dance like a monkey up on the stage and get people to laugh and chuckle. Hitting start stream, most of the anxiety just goes away instantaneously. My main issue is oftentimes, so I will say this a lot on my streams, but I don't stream to play games. You don't need to be streaming in order to play a game. So I stream to talk to people. If no one's talking, I feel like it's defeating the purpose of why I'm streaming in the first place.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say that I despise all lurkers or anything, because the old adage is lurkers are the lifeblood of Twitch, because that's how Twitch makes its ad revenue. They're literally
Right.
the lifeblood of Twitch. But man, I will trade 5 billion lurkers for one active chatter.
I agree. I
Uh,
agree.
Nothing makes my day more than seeing someone, especially like the other day, I had someone stop by the stream who I had not seen by the stream in, oh boy, probably like a year and a half, 2 years. And they're like, yeah, no, I've been real busy. I had a kid. I was like, crazy. Oh my God. I'm wearing a nun's habit and squatting on stream right now. Let's have a serious conversation about your life. Uh, that's, Listen, I have redeems, and they're weird.
Kind of switching gears a little bit, going, I guess, half step back, talking about your Kaizo and everything, because that is kind of the main focus that I have right now is interviewing kind of people that mainly play Kaizo. I mean, like you said, I know that you also I've watched you play the Yakuza games, and you said you used to play the shooter games, all that kind of stuff. But I know you from Kaizo, so. Um, do you remember what your first hack that you played was? Like a
Yeah, yeah.
Kaizo hack?
Oh yeah, yeah. My first hack was shellax.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because jumping is hard. uh, you're supposed to like jump, because I came from Super Mario Maker, where the physics are more momentum based, whereas like SMW, when you press left, you're going left instantaneously. You get like 3 frames max before you're already turned around, right?
Right.
uh, Super Mario Maker, you press left, your character turns to the left, and your momentum starts to shift, but you're not going left instantaneously. It's not a quick, it's not a slow turnaround, but there is a time to it. You had to be very thoughtful of your movements because you could not save things necessarily. And so when I started poking at SMW, the first thing I played was SMW just to make sure that I had all the controls set up. And I was like, man, this feels like garbage. Ugh. I press jump and I press left and I go phew, left. Okay. Well, I do like shells because shells are love, shells are life. And so because I'd done a lot of Team Shell on Super Mario Maker, where you're doing full donkers into reclaims, and then doing like they have fun names for all the tricks, and so I loved that. And I was like, well, let me pick up a hack that's got a lot of shells in it. And so I typed in shell, and one of the first things was shellax. And I was like, that's funny. That's relax and shell. That's me. So I downloaded shellax and I played it. Uh, and I was like, yeah, man, the shells aren't that different here. The timing is ever so slightly different for when you release a shell jump, but it's basically the same. Like there's not a lot going on
So that was your first hack. This one
there.
you probably will be able to remember as well. What would you say is the hardest hack that you've beaten?
Uh, I guess if you go by the rankings on SMW Central, then it's Baron of Shell. Uh, because that's a pair that's hard. They wrote hard next to it, so you know it's a hard hack, and
Very.
it's not easy. But it's shells, so it's fun. It's baby stuff. You throw a shell, you land on it. It's whatever, right? Uh, for me, one of the hardest one for me, uh, early on was actually Joe Bros 3 by Wolf Guy. Uh, because I played the first one. It was like, oh yeah, this is a beginner. Let's learn how to jump on stuff. I was like, heck yeah, I'm learning how to jump on stuff. This is great. And then I played two, and I was like, this is a little bit harder. And the three is like, what if this was an actual hack? And you have to jump. And I still was horrible at moving around on the screen. So, like, let's say the block is here that you need to land on. I would every single time go like here and then overcorrect and go whoop down and just come right next to it because I was so used to Super Mario Maker physics, where,
Right.
oh, wait, if I know I'm going to have to pull back, I got to start pulling back. And so, literally jumping on stuff and doing like the basics were harder for me than a lot of that. Now, since then, I have played substantially harder platforming stuff. I think according to SMW Central, the hardest non-shell hack that I've played is Simpatico by Real Beachin and Beg Red Boy.
So that being said, that's your hardest hack you played. Sometimes people have like uh, I'm not going to say bucket list hack, but like a hack that they've seen or heard of that either it's extremely difficult or it's just well renowned or something. But they think one day I want to be able to say I've beaten that hack. Do you have like a holy grail hack that one day you want to be able to add to your list?
Nope, not at all. If I see a hack and I'm like, ooh, I want to play that, I download it and I play it because why wouldn't I? You play the hack,
Right.
uh, and if it's hard, it's hard. If it's not, it's not. That's it. If I see something, I'm like, ooh, oh, that's why I played Baron. Folks are like, oh, if you like shells, Baron's the good shells. All the other shells are bad because we're the SMW hive mind, and shells are boring. So yeah, let's do. You should play Baron. That's when shells were good. So I'm like, well, I gotta play Baron, and then I played Baron. I'm like, yeah, no, this is just shells. Yep, we're throwing the shell against the wall, and we land on it. It's crazy. Uh, and then I got to the levels where they introduced the LR mechanics, and I was like, ugh.
So is there like do you have kind of a favorite creator? Like if you see that so and so has released a new hack, you're just kind of like, I've got to play that one.
Not really. There's definitely some folks that I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, their stuff's really good. Where or their stuff is at a consistent level that I know. Oh, if I throw on a first name butt hack, I'll have like a couple hours of fun. You know, uh, and then like DRK makes really well thought out, cool stuff. So I'm always interested to play like Obstinate that just came out. That was really good, right? And there's some little bit of thinking, and you learn some new stuff about it. He does really interesting stuffs with that, but not particularly. Generally, what I tend to do is if I'm going to be playing stuff, which honestly, the hacks that I play the most is Lunar Magic because I'm mostly making. I actually play substantially less than I make when it comes to that. So my hack list is probably smaller than yours, just as far as like number played.
Gotcha. Yeah, that I actually was going to ask you about that because I know you have created um, several different hacks, and in fact, I decided to do this. I went on SMW and I grabbed the first little picture associated with all of the hacks that your name was attached to. One of these I know wasn't a Baldridge exclusive because you were a collaborator for Shell Lab. But we do have, I only saw six. I don't know if you've been a part of or created more than that, but that's the only ones I saw.
Yeah, no, that's all of them right there. There's Shui, there's Blackout, Hage 1, Buzz, Shalab, and Hage 2.
Um, and according to the date, so it kind of makes sense that this would be your first one. I'm assuming that Shui was your first hack you created.
Yes. Well, no. I made one called Bald Mountain that I did not release because I made it specifically to learn the controls of Lunar
Oh,
Magic. So there is a hack. It's on this computer called Bald Mountain that exists, and the last level of Shui actually has parts of it full cloth ripped from some of those levels. So the three levels that I liked the most from Bald Mountain became the final secret level in Shui.
that is cool. That's why I like asking these kind of questions because I don't know if that would ever come up in a normal conversation like in your stream for someone to find that out. That is really cool. So you've made, I guess you've made, counting the one that you haven't released, you've made six. You've collaborated with one. Do
Mhm.
you have one that you kind of that it's kind of your baby? Like that's the one you're the most proud of.
Oh yeah, Blackout.
Blackout.
Bla- Blackout's actually good. The rest of them, they're fine.
I assumed is somehow connected to your other one called Buzzed.
Yeah. So other than the Hages, they all have a drinking motif. A Shui is an Australian drinking tradition. Uh, that if you read the opening poem in Shui, it's some. I will paraphrase it, but it essentially says, uh, uh, "Take off your shoe and pour a pint in your soul. Tip it up and drink it whole. A Shui for you and a Shui for me. Mistakes to be made and to see. Because a Shui is where an Australian takes the beer, they pour it in their shoe, and then they drink it from the shoe." I learned this
Okay.
when I went drinking with an Australian from a hostel in Japan. And we're drunkenly cavorting through Shinjuku over by the Golden Guy area, which is a area that's got a lot of tiny bars to it. It's really, really, really fun, and they're all themed. It's gotten a bit touristy since then. This was like 15 years ago. God, I'm old. But it was super fun, and We walk out of a heavy metal themed bar because all the bars are themed. And he's like, "Mate, we gotta do a shoey." I said, "What the?" I'm sorry if that's offensive to Australians. I didn't say shrimp on the Barbie or mention Fosters, which I know aren't real. Uh, but he's like, "Mate, we gotta do a shoey." It's like, I don't do drugs. He's like, "No, no, mate, a shoey." And he took his shoe off, poured what was left of his beer, because in Japan you can take beer out onto the road because they have this thing called freedom. And then he poured it into his shoe and just drank it, leaving me completely flabbergasted. My gassed flabbered to heck and back.
Rightfully
And then
so.
I was like, okay, so I did a shoey with him. And for a while there, a shoey was a thing that you could trigger on my stream. Uh, if you, so whenever folks sub, there's a wheel that gets spinned, and it used to just be punishments for me. It was all bad things. I've since then not done that after vomiting occasionally.
Oh my.
Well, it was the hot sauce, not the beer. The beer was
Oh.
enough. Uh, oh, whoa, Bill, I got some. Oh boy. Um, oh, you should see these scars, Bill. Uh, but a shoey is a Australian thing. Obviously, buzzed is what happens when you drink, and then blackout is what happens if you keep drinking. Uh,
Exactly.
and the next hack is supposed to be a beginner hack, and that is why it is called aperitif, which is a drink you drink before you drink, because French people take their drinking very seriously.
How did you get involved with Shell Lab?
Shalab was put together by Kraka. I believe there's an apostrophe over the A, so you have to say it like that. And they reached out and said, "Hey, you like shell stuff? Uh, shell?" And I said shell. And they said shell. I said shell. And then we hugged each other and said shell. Virtually, it was a virtual hug.
So we know that shell stuff is your favorite thing kind of to do in Mario. If you're playing a hack and you come across a different mechanic,
Mm.
what mechanic or gimmick is it that when you come across you immediately eye roll and just kind of groan that I don't want to do this?
uh, Things that change the basics of your controls. So like I really really love the look of like the Light Alliance and Sayla hacks. If you're not familiar with them, they make gorgeous hacks, and they really unfortunately, like Taylor Swift, she seems to show up in a lot of their hacks. And listen, I get it. Billionaires are the best and we should all praise them, but I'm not that big of a fan of her music, so I don't quite get it. But they make some really cool stuff. Uh, but they just put out one called Delirium, which is all about messing with your controls. And I was like, I will not be playing that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can imagine.
uh, uh, but for the most part, I love when people mess with SMW. I am the opposite of a purist. If you do something interesting with the code of a game that came out like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
And
it's still kind of new.
yeah, it's basically brand new, still in box. Like that's awesome. Crates, for example, like you talked about. Oh, what if we took a key and we made it buoyant, but also made it so that you can't do key jumps with it? So you pick it up like a key, you run with it like a key, you can do all the key stuff, but it floats on water and you can't do a key jump. So you're a bit more forced to deal with what you do. That's awesome. Oh, cool. We added in Donkey Kong Country barrels. Why? Because, yes, sticky ceilings? Yeah, it's wonderful. VVV style jump switches gravity. Let's do this. That's cool. And I get Koopas? Wonderful. Yeah, I am the opposite of a purist when it comes to that because I like it when people mess with stuff. Because if I wanted to just play Super Mario World, Nintendo released this game that's very close to it. It's called Super Mario World, and you can just play that.
Exactly.
Uh,
But so the control. changes are the ones you don't like. What do you think of? I there was one level in Jish that I played, and then there's a whole hack that I will never probably attempt. Memorabilia, the ones that you have to
Oh,
put
yes,
in the
that's cool.
entire code before you play
Yeah.
and hit play and hope you put the inputs correcally. How do you
Yeah,
feel about that one?
I think that's so cool. I haven't played Jish because it's a hack and I don't play those, but uh, I did watch DRK play through the memorabilia one because and I was like, that is a clever thing. That's so awesome. And I've seen a few hacks have done it. I forget. It was one of the more recent collab hacks had a level that did that, and that's where I first interacted with that. I'm like, that is neat. That's awesome. Really anything. I'm just like, yeah, this is fun. I'm up for doing things in stuff. I know, vague, but that's I, I play the game. It's nice.
Right. Um, so for people that are new to Kaizo, I know that there's um, it's kind of a polarizing topic, and a lot of times it can really mess with especially people that are new to Kaizo till they can kind of get established and either A, not really care what anybody else thinks, or B, they get nervous about what everybody's going to think.
Yeah,
But
use them. It's fine.
yeah, I was going to ask, what do you think of save states?
It's whatever. Why would it? That's the good part about SMW is you can put down a save state and practice stuff. You can't do that in Mario Maker 2. That's why we put practice doors throughout all of our levels. But you don't need to do that in SMW because you press down on the D-pad because that's what the D-pad is for. It's for setting save states and recalling them. It's four extra buttons. What else are you using the D-pad for? And then you press down and it sets a save state. And then I press up and it loads the save state. And then I go, all right, let's press up again and again and again. And I keep dying because I set it up horribly, but I don't want to have to play back up to it to practice this section again. So I keep no, I save state practice anything, everything. I do not care. I don't do it as much when I'm streaming a hack just because it messes with the music. But if I'm playing Spotify over the music already, oh baby, oh we're throwing them as soon as I hit a wall, just because I just want to figure out the thing. And if the thing is the last trick in a level, oh, I'm at that point I'd probably put a save state before it anyways. I'd see no reason not to use them at all.
But there are some
I
people that will use it for not just practice, but for clearing. Do you still have the
see.
same opinion?
I was about ready to jump on that. I was gonna say I will go one step further, and I don't care how you beat the game. You are playing the game for you. So if you save state every other jump and you still feel accomplished, good job. You beat the hack. Uh, like I don't do that because that's not the way that I want to interact with the medium. But go ahead. It's awesome. Play play the cool hacks. Have fun. Why
I,
would we care? Dude,
I,
have fun with your life. You only get one of them. Stop caring what weirdos with keyboards say.
I could not agree more. So talking about the difficulties in the games and stuff like that, and I know you have played, do play other games. Is there anything that you've ever done like for a I don't know how else to word it, like an extreme challenge associated like with your favorite game, like speed run, deathless run, blindfold challenge, any
Hmm.
like something that somebody else be like, you did what? Yeah.
Uh, Not really. No. That's not really a way that I tend to interact with the medium, honestly. Uh, Most of the time, uh, I kind of let's see. I don't know. Uh, like I've definitely so there was a time there where I would try to play a lot of games in pacifism mode because that's just fun to do and see if you can actually beat a thing without murdering people. Because I don't know if you know this, but games are just a collection of verbs, and you choose the verb. And strangely, the most common verb in video games is murder. So I wanted to see what if I didn't use the most common way that we interact with a game. And so, especially a lot of like old 2D games, like imagine playing Contra, but you have to dodge all the bullets and enemies instead of actually getting through.
Oh my.
So while nothing specific, I'd say like poking at games that way was probably the closest to that kind of thing.
So switching a little gears a little bit more toward your actual stream, a lot of times there's certain emotes and things like that in people's streams that out of context make absolutely no sense. Like, why is this a thing? Is there any
Mm.
emotes in your channel that kind of have a special meaning that you kind of got to be in the know to really understand what it's there for, or do any of them have like a real like connection? Do they is there a story behind them or something?
I mean, all of my emotes are freaking weirdville. They're all really weird. So when I started trying to pick emotes, I was like, oh, well, everyone has a GG, so I don't need one of those because everybody's probably got one already. Everyone's got a this, everyone's got a that, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother with that because everybody's already got them. Uh, looking at, I'm currently looking at my emotes in your chat here, and let's see. I mean, the Malort is because it's Malort, you know. But I like this one, which I'll put there. Hopefully that doesn't make noise. I don't know if you have it set to make noise or
No, it
anything,
doesn't.
but that is the first time that I ever. So it's currently bouncing below me, like right. Oh, it's gone. But that's my first introduction to Tim Curry right there. I don't know if you know him. He apparently does acting. I haven't seen a single movie he's been in. The only thing I know Tim Curry from is this clip from Command and Conqueror, Red Alert 3, I believe, where he says, I'm escaping to the one place not affected by capitalism. And then he sits there for a good solid 5 seconds, and you can tell he is holding back all of the laughter in the world. It is a dam that's this close to bursting before he says the final word, which is splice. And he says it like that. He says splice. And it's one of my favorite emotes because I don't know anybody else that has a Tim Curry space emote. That being said, I also don't know anybody that has any of here. Let's just do all of these and that and that and that and that and any of these. Uh, so as these start bouncing on screen, folks will see a baby skull. That's not a baby skull. That's the anatomy of an anime uwu girl because they have the gigantic eyeballs, right? And their eyes are stupidly large and take up. So they're like, what would the skull look like? So we've got that one. We've got a few Yakuza ones because, of course, Yakuza. I love it. And then I'm going to make this one big as well, just so we could all appreciate it in your chat. And when this pops up, uh, I mean, that just makes me happy that people have to look at that. And so that's why a woman eating yogurt off of her own head is my favorite emote of mine.
But that kind of leads me to my next thing, and we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Um, so that's your emotes, but anybody that watches your stream for very long is probably going to see random, um,
Yes,
shall we
random what?
say,
Mm-hmm.
pushing terms of Twitch, allowing gifs popping up on screen. They don't
I
they
don't know
don't
what you're
cross
talking
they
about.
don't cross the line. They do stand with 1 foot over it, but they haven't actually put their foot down yet. What is the story behind the random flashes of the gifs on your
Yes.
stream?
So, what Phil is referring to is all of the TNA that pops up on the screen. A lot of a lot of A. Uh, the gifts are put there by chat. So there's a submit your GIF redemption, and as long as it does not actually break Twitch TOS, and I don't find it bad for one reason or another, you know, like you know, there's definitely some gifts that I would not add that are totally fine with Twitch TOS. So essentially, as long as it doesn't break TOS and I don't find it particularly appalling to put on my stream, it goes into the folder where all of the GIFs live. And very early on, folks went, "Oh, so those pop up on stream. I'm going to put panties on his screen. I'm going to put boobies on his screen, but not actual ones unless they're male. Then it's okay because certain nipples are sinful, as we found out from Twitch TOS. Uh, and you have to make sure that you, whew, careful now. Oh, I've broken TOS so many times. But like they realized, oh, that will probably make him embarrassed to have boobs on his screen. Unfortunately, what they didn't realize is that I'm a sick degenerate, and I think that's hilarious. And so now they have gone so far beyond to the throbbing femboys and in between. It's all over the place, Phil. Oh.
Yeah, when you were trying to show me your first couple levels of your new beginner hack, there was a span of like 2 minutes where I just sat there watching a total barrage of questionable gifs.
Yeah, yeah, and that yeah, the gift bomb is a little bit different because so the cost of that goes up every 10 redeems of it, uh, and it is just like you said, a barrage of gifts where they show up on stream for a random duration, uh, and then there's a random delay before the next one. When it started, there was 10.
There
There
was
was
many
10,
more
Phil.
than 10 the other
10.
day.
It lasts 5 minutes now. It lasts 5 minutes. I counted. It's 5 minutes of boobs and
your
other things.
your your follower count probably will has just skyrocketed.
Ugh. Well, they're not mine, so people don't stick around for it. I keep mine in a box over there.
I gotcha. But another thing that is very, very common that it may be every time you stream. I'm not sure, but it seems like it is if it's not. But you always seem to be, whatever you play, it's always mixed in with Japanese study. Um, what's
Hmm.
what's the motivation behind you learning the Japanese? Why do you do that?
It actually is because I kind of went about this backwards. You ask most folks, hey, why are you learning Japanese? They'll say, because I really like watching anime and I want to make, dubs are bad, so I gotta watch it with the subs on there instead. And I don't want subs because I can't read, so I'm going to learn Japanese so that I can actually understand what they're saying. Uh, and For me, it is actually I stream it because if I don't, I won't do it. So by forcing it to be a stream thing, and actually it became a stream thing. It was originally a YouTube thing, uh, and then I just didn't have enough time to do the YouTube part and the Twitch part, so they became the same thing. But the whole reason behind all of that is I was working at a tool and die shop. For folks that don't know what tool and die is, that's how the stuff that you use is made. So, like, people work for a living and they make stuff, and that stuff makes stuff. So I was part of that. And my boss walked up to me and said, "Hey, you haven't earned a single day of vacation yet this year." And I went, "Why not? Like, what? He's like, well, you hit the cap. And I was like, why is there a cap? And then he gave me some capitalism excuse, stepping on the little man or whatever. Because I capped out at 3 weeks. And I was like, oh crap. So I need to use those. So I had just got my passport because I was occasionally making deliveries to a country called Canada. I don't know if you know about this one. It's north,
It's,
and
it's just a
it's also
rumor.
cold, so I don't like it. It's really cold, and I was making deliveries there, so I needed to have a passport. I was like, well, I got a passport. I got 3 weeks of vacation time. Let's put a so I put a Google alert for flights, and I set it up, and I said, okay, Tokyo, Dubai, Cork, Ireland, because for whatever reason that was the first place in Ireland I thought of, and then Rio de Janeiro, and some city in Africa. I forget exactly which one. Uh, and I was like, okay, let's whenever one of these flights gets below $800, I'm taking a 3 week vacation there. Now, if you know anything about flights, it was always going to be Tokyo because all of those other ones are not main hubs and need to have extra flights to get there. So Tokyo went down to $700, and I was like, done. All right, booking that flight. I don't speak any Japanese. Is that going to be a problem going to Japan? What's the percentage of Japanese people that can speak English? Oh, it's 10. It's 10. It's actually gone down since then because for whatever reason in the past 10 years other countries don't rely on us as much. Who knows why? Anyways, but so not a lot of people spoke English there. So I was like, oh, I need to learn a little bit so I can be like, toire wa doko desu ka? Before I pee myself, I need to ask where the toilet is. And I need to be able to say "tasukete" when I need help because I want people to help me. And so those are literally the first two things that I learned. And then I went to Japan, and it's freaking amazing there. It is an eye-opening experience to leave the states. So for all of my fellow Americans, leave at least once so you can see how good countries work. Because public transportation turns out you can have that anywhere. It works. It's a way to transport the public. And I was like, wow, this is great. And the service was insane. I will often share a story where I walked into essentially like a CVS style place or like a pharmacy drugstore, right? And I needed a razor. So at the time, I had hair here ish. I was in denial, and no hair here. So I went in and I was like, sumimasen, razor arimasu ka? Which is like, oh, do you have a razor here? And I said, razor. Because I didn't know the word for razor. And it turns out, yes, the answer is just saying razor with an Asian accent is in fact how you say razor. It's one of the ways you can say razor. Just like pizza is how you say pizza, and chocoretto is how you say chocolate. Uh,
It's
and
good to
uh,
know.
the lady looked very taken aback, and I was like, "Oh no, what did I say? Did I accidentally just like hit on her? Did I ask her for marriage? Like, what did I say that I didn't realize was actually the thing?" And eventually, she like looked around. I was like, "Is she looking for a manager? Don't call the cops. I'm sorry." And she was like, "Follow me." I was like, "Oh, you just speak English. I could have just spoken English this whole time." And she led me out onto the street 2 blocks down from this CVS slash pharmacy drugstore thing to a different drugstore, into it to the back wall to a set of stairs that we went down to the front of the store, but now on the basement floor to a set of men's razors. And I was like, this is a weird system. Why is your store broken up into 2 parts like this? What is going on here? It wasn't, Vil. It was a completely different store. They didn't sell men's razors in the first place. So she took me to a different store.
Where they did.
That's the kind of service you can get sometimes.
Hmm.
What the heck? I went into a restaurant and they had a button on the table, and when you pressed it, the wait staff would come to help you. And if you didn't press it, they didn't come to help you because you obviously don't need help. Otherwise, you would have put the button. So you will never have a mouthful of food and have a waitress come up and say, "Hey, how is that, hon?" It's never going to happen because they're not coming up to your table unless you push the button because the button means you need help.
That makes sense.
I love it. There's so oh god, don't there's so much, and it's not just a Japan thing. I should say, the Japan is a wonderful country, deeply flawed, but a wonderful country. Uh, the this type of like just recently, I took my beautiful, wonderful wife to Europe for our 15-year anniversary, and I was blown away. Like people were like, "Oh, London, the public transport in London sucks." And coming from America, shut up. It's amazing. It goes from point A to point B at the time it says it's going to, and you arrive there. Oh, it's mildly hot. It's sometimes it smells weird because there's people on it. Oh no. You know what we do in the States when you need to get somewhere? You get in the car. Don't have a license? Guess you're dead. Because that's your options. And so it's not just Japan, but that's the reason that I started studying Japanese is because I wanted to go over there, and then I was like, well, this is great. Uh, this is wonderful. I'm gonna go back, and so now I've essentially gone back every like 3 or 4 years since then. And in 2027, I will be taking my next trip. It's
Nice.
already planned, and we're going to be going. Uh, and so I've kept up the learning to make sure that I can ask directions
Survive.
to stuff, have conversations. Like I talked to an old man about his daughter the last time I was there. I went and talked to a street performer who was playing Johnny B. Good on the guitar on the side streets of Fukuoka, and I bought him a beer. I had a chat with him, and then he's like, "Let's go. Hey, you want to go drinking? And let's walk around with beers and watch the rest of the street performers. I know where there's some belly dancers. Do you want to see some belly dancers?" And I was like, "Yes, I do, old Japanese man. How could you tell?" And we went and drank while we watched belly dancers and shamisen players and all sorts of stuff. There was a Japanese kid there who next time you stop by the stream, remind me. I'll show you the video. Who was just nailing American pop songs. He was singing them perfectly. And I walked up to him. I was like, "Mate, you sound amazing." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't." And I was like, "What? You are nailing these songs and you don't speak English?" He phonetically learned all of the songs, Bill.
Wow. Talking about things that would be like memorable that would come up. And I know, especially as long as you've been streaming, there's probably might be numerous things, but is there in the time of your streaming, is there anything that's happened that just was like a really memorable moment, like something that you think back to that in your streaming career that just like that was like peak or whatever, you know, when you think back to one of the best streams or the best things that came from streaming, is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, I mean, the best thing that came from streaming is all the really freaking cool people that I have met online, and some of them in person. That is easily the best thing. I love meeting up with people IRL because I'm a weirdo. But my last Japanese trip was actually with a group of folks from the Pacific Northwest, half of which used to be streamers, and that's how I met them. Uh, but like lots of really memorable stuff. My streams, they might look unhinged now. They are not. We're a placid, calm, babbling brook right now compared to the tormenting tsunami of weirdness that they used to be. Uh, so, like, there used to be a big thing on Twitch where folks would wear slightly less clothing than most people would wear to a stream and just be in a hot tub, right?
I've
Uh,
heard of that.
so yeah, so who knows? Whatever. But I was like, well, I gotta get in on this. So I got an inflatable kiddie pool, and there's a clip of me in all of my glory, uh, getting in it, splashing it onto my chest because it's a kiddie pool. It's this deep. You're not. It's this deep. You know. So I got to splash it on there, and I splash it on my face, and I go, huh. I throw my hair back, and no, I have never streamed once with hair on my head. Okay, my hair on my head. I have tons of wigs up there. You can see my Miss Frizzle one from right there. Uh, I let's see. Uh, Taking so many hot sauce shots that I vomited. That was fun, in a way.
Jeez.
I Yeah, that was a thing. It used to be that when I did my baldathon, every sub was a Cholula shot. Now Cholula, not hot, not hot at all. Uh, uh, but you do a shot of it is a little. It gets a little warm. It's still not hot, but by the fourth one, the taste of Cholula is just Satan. It's the worst thing you've ever had. And then someone drops a 10 gift sub. And you
Oh,
do 10 more of them,
jeez.
Bill. I did over 200 shots of hot sauce.
Holy cow.
Uh, I was wearing a nun's habit for the last 50 of those because that was also a redemption back in the day. It's somewhere around here. I think oh, yeah, actually, really, it's still here. Here's my nun's habit. So there's the little bit right there, and then you up and over. So there's my nun's habit. If you didn't know, it's the headdress of a nun. That's what's a nun's habit? It's Jesus, and that's why she wears this. Yeah, the last 50 of it was in a nun's habit before I succumbed to vomiting. Actually, a really fun one, and this is very mundane compared to the rest of them. We play a game on the stream called the Jido Hanbaiki no Game, which stands for vending machine game, because Japan loves its vending machines. It's benri na, right? Oh yeah, hi, benri. Yeah, they are so convenient, which is what benri means. But there is a vending machine on every corner in that freaking country. You sometimes will see 11 of them directly next to each other. No one needs that much water or tea. And they also are mostly water, tea, and coffee, not pop or soda if you're not from the Midwest, or Coke if you're from Atlanta. So we play Google Maps, and we'll literally grab the little walk around guy, Street View, and I will look away from the screen, and I'll swing it around in circles and move it all over the map, and the map moves all nowhere near where I start. So I don't know why I have people pick a spot. It does not matter. We're going to be nowhere near there by the end of it. And we drop. And if there's a vending machine there, they get 1 point. If there's 4 vending machines there, they get 3 points. If there's 8 vending machines there, they get 6 points. So you want to find a bunch of vending machines, and then at the end of the year, I give whoever the winner is a gift card to the platform of their choice, equal up to the current cost of a new video game. So one time, someone redeemed that, and we dropped down, and we landed inside of a high school science lab. Obviously, there are no vending machines inside of the science lab, and so I'm like,
Right.
well, I'm sorry, Prappa. This is definitely a no pointer here. Well, let's look around. This is kind of a neat spot. Let's look at it. So we're looking around, and then out of one of the windows, down the hall slightly, I saw the Boss Coffee vending machine. I was like, God, how did you got a point? And we dropped in a high school, not in a hall. We dropped in a high school science lab, and you still got a point on the vending machine game. That's how many vending machines there are in that country.
And they have vending machines for everything too, right?
All sorts of stuff. I bought eggs out of one once. I've bought in fish out of one. Shouldn't have done that. I bought crab soup out of it. I've also bought like water, coffee, hot. You can get warm coffee out of a vending machine. There was one spot I saw that was selling like figurines. So you could go up and there were just figurines, and you could buy them out of a vending machine. There is a notorious one that I saw in Nakano Broadway, which is an area in the Nakano area of the greater Tokyo metropolitan area that sells women's undergarments. You can buy cigarettes, you can buy alcohol. You might say, "Oh, you can buy alcohol out of a vending machine." So, well, what protections do they have in place to make sure no kids would are buying alcohol out of it? The protection is they tell the kids, don't buy alcohol from the alcohol vending machine, and that is adequate protection, I'm sure.
So going back to some of the things on your stream, uh, I know as long as it's been going now, and also I do know that the whole raid system was not built into Twitch to start with, because I've heard stories of when they first were talking about releasing the raid system. There were people already on Twitch that was like, "Oh, you're going to destroy it. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be the most awful thing ever." Um, do you do you remember who the first person to raid you was?
Yes. Yep, 100%. It was a streamer by the name of It's Guy. It's Guy is a guy named Guy who lives in the Pacific Northwest. He loved playing around with green screen stuff. Uh, and so he had all sorts of weird green screen gimmicks. He actually had two green screens behind him. One that he would like reach behind him, grab, and pull back, and there'd be a different green screen behind that. So, but it would be different colored. So he would have a chroma key green and a chroma key blue going on at the same time. And so he'd pull back the green screen and the blue screen would be there, and he'd like reach into portals and pull stuff out. And he loved all that sort of like dumb interaction with the medium, right? And so that was really cool stuff. And he rated me, and then I checked his stream out, and this, that, the other thing. And then last year, I was sharing beers with him in Tokyo.
It's really cool. So he was your first raid. What is the largest raid you've ever had, or do you know?
The largest was by a streamer in the SM2 community named Orator. He is bald, and he saw Baldridge. They thought that was funny, and they rated my SMM2 stream with something like 800 people.
Holy. So again, like I told you before we started, so the whole point of me doing these interviews with different people is to give somebody that doesn't know the different streamers a lot of background about them, kind of what motivates them, what they like, what they don't. Hopefully, finding their next favorite streamer, maybe. Um, but that being said, sometimes people may be watching this, hopefully, that are maybe they're watching your video or watching this interview, and they're thinking of maybe starting to stream. So if anybody is watching this or watching your stream that is thinking about going into streaming, um, what advice would you kind of give them? You know, certain pitfalls maybe to watch out for or avoid that maybe either you know about or maybe even that you experienced when you started.
I think the first thing would be uh, treat it like the Yakuza series treats its stories. Take it deathly seriously, even in the dumb aspects. treat the dumb things and the fun things that you're doing with as much care and attention to what you're doing as the things that you think are actually like serious. Uh, give everything the same level of attention almost, if that makes sense.
It
Because
does.
like I've been to plenty of streams where they had a really good computer and that game looked crisp and they sounded like a wet fart. And you're like, okay, cool. You're talking into a tin can and somehow the signal's getting into your computer. That's honestly impressive, but not good for a stream because I can't understand a word you're saying. Uh, but also by that same token, treat everything serious, uh, but know that, and this is gonna sound weird. Literally nothing matters. Uh, I am
Hmm.
a nihilist, an optimistic one though. Nothing matters, and that's a good thing. Uh, so like literally, because essentially don't get hung up on, and this is like maybe you should listen to yourself, bald guy. Don't get hung up on like number of viewers, number of chatters. Oh, you didn't get a sub this month. If you go, just remember the average number. And this once again sounds like a negative thing. The average viewership for a channel is zero. It's zero. Most streams will never have someone watch it. And if you're okay with that and you're having fun, that's great. But just know that that's a thing that can happen. And it doesn't matter because nothing matters. And that's good.
I agree completely. So, and you've mentioned it before a little bit earlier. You were talking about people that will join your stream just because bald is in the name. They think it's funny. If somebody is new to streaming, it will inevitably happen. Even if you're a small streamer, you'll have somebody jump in literally just to try to troll you. Uh,
Mm.
how do you deal with trolls?
It really depends on the way and method that they are doing it. Uh, if they are just trying to be like obtuse and weird, I don't care. That's fun. If they're come in and they start saying like slurs or something, it's a ban instantaneously. If they treat someone else in chat like a jerk, it's a ban instantaneously. I have not a single inch of leeway with that type of thing. Everything else, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Uh, in fact, like literally, the only thing those are the only things that I will block or ban someone for. So if I find out that someone says slurs, I block and ban them right then. Uh, I do not care if I thought they were a cool person. I give no leeway.
The last thing I wanted to ask you is, especially considering how long you've been streaming, uh, I know, like you said, it has shifted a lot. The vibes probably have changed. Your mentality of looking at it has changed. But is your streaming today and the things you experience kind of on a regular basis kind of what you expected it to be when you started? Like, is it was this where you're at now? Is that kind of what you was figuring it would be when you got started, or did you start and like, okay, this is totally different than what I was expecting it to be?
Yeah, no, I thought I would be the next ninja, you know, uh, uh, which if you don't know, you're lucky. He's actually not that fun of a stream to watch, but he's a really really big stream. But and I was like, oh yeah, it's like, I, why wouldn't people want to watch, right? So no, no, not at all. But that being said, every time I actually, so this will be a fun one. I had a complete mental breakdown about a year and a half ago, uh, and essentially just swore off streaming,
Hmm.
and it was bad. It was really bad. So I took 3 months off, and I was feeling like garbage the whole 3 months. And I was like, what? Man, why am I feeling like? And it turns out I really freaking like doing it. And so I slowly hopped back into it, and I still feel like I'm on that treadmill back to as weird and fun of a stream as it was. It's definitely way more subdued than it was. Did I mention the vomiting? So uh, I finally like got over myself, which is not a good approach to mental issues. Don't do that, children. Don't be like me. Don't just smack yourself in the face and say get over it, and just perceived to be gotten over it. Actually, go get help. But no, that is not at all where I thought I was going to be. Uh, but by that same token, uh, every time I stream, uh, as long as there's someone there, it's the best time of my day. If I had to say like one like final statement, it would probably be going back to one of the things that we said earlier, which is uh, I think nothing matters, and that's a good thing. You only get one life, so go out there and do the things that you want to do. Don't don't wait. Don't the number of older folks that I have talked to who have said, "Oh, we were going to do this, but then my husband died, or then my wife died, or something like that." Don't be that. Go do it. Go do it now. If you find a way to do it, do it. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. So try to like you get one, make the most of it, right? Go try a thing. I will try anything twice because maybe I
Twice.
screwed it up the first time.
That's a good philosophy to have. Maybe the
That
first time
has
was just a
led me to
mistake.
doing weird things, Phil, like a shoey in Japan, or eating candied sheep's eyeballs, or joining a drag show. Like life happens, and
Do,
that's the best part.
it has been fun, and I do appreciate it. And now you've also got to see how stream together works.
Yes, yes. I look forward to probably never using it again, but it seems neat, It seems neat.
I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Hopefully, I'll be back streaming again on Sunday, probably back to Mega Man. But until then, everybody take care, stay safe, and ooh